Previously in Dragon's Maw. After half the party spent time in the drunk tank and the others either explored or got called in by death or pestilence, the Dragon Maulers finally met with Conquest, the replacement for war. Conquest's perspective was favorable to the Maulers. He realized that as soon as this deal with the executive went south, a prolonged conflict was inevitable. But of more pressing concern was what was happening in Apocalypse. Death seemed to fear that someone might be after his phylactery, and Pestilence thought that he might have been poisoned by nightmare root before he was ready. Conquest had intel that seemed to back it up, but his opinion was that these were bluffs. All signs pointed to famine, but there was no proof, and without proof, even by the limited rules of the Apocalypse Peace Agreement, there could be no retribution. The party agreed that taking him out was their new goal, however, so Conquest pointed them towards two of Famine's subordinates, Scales and Locust, two unicorns supposedly under Famine's mind control, but otherwise capable in their own right. If they could be separated from Famine and mentally freed, they could not only provide proof, but also make suitable replacements once Famine went down. Tibbs came up with the idea for a party, which Conquest put into motion. The party made plans to create distractions for Famine, while they worked to undermine him. As the last session ended, the party was just getting underway. Powder Keg approached Famine with a temporary truce for the sake of partying, and Javolt somehow put together a DJ table made out of kitchen supplies and hooking it up to his robot Igor, whatever. The rest of the camp is eating, drinking, dancing, laughing, and generally living it up before the big serious day tomorrow. And if I sound a little different this week, it's because I am feeling a little sick, so, I don't know, won't change too much other than my voice, but I also might be a little bit more hands-off until things get more serious. Right now, the four of you, because several of our players are either temporarily or permanently missing this week, Flotsam and Zenkar and Tempered Steel and, Dr. Javolt. Well, Dr. Javolt is at his DJ table, somehow providing this weird metallic sort of electronica for the crowd to dance to, as confused as they are, because, most of the music in this, even in, the Wasteland, is still from, all the swing and jazz from the 40s and 50s that, the wartime jazz, so suddenly this machine noise is kind of confusing them. As for the other three of you, I guess you guys decide what you're doing right now, and now would be a good time to plan your attack. Famine and his gang is definitely among the party, and they're definitely taking a chance to live it up a bit. But his subordinates, two of which are the ones you're looking for, but there's also a few more. They're kind of sticking close to Famine wherever he goes throughout the party.
I had totally forgotten Javolt doing that DJ table.
I hadn't.
So we, in character, we know what Scales and Locusts look like, right?
You have been given description, yes.
Okay, cool.
No, it was...
Scales is, they're all wearing the Famine, paint, but, Scales is this kind of older, unicorn stallion with a gray mane and locust. Underneath the paint is this younger unicorn mare with this, sort of dark gray coat.
Okay.
Zenkarn was the one who's going to try and do the, unwashing, right? So.
Yep.
Okay, so we're not missing anyone who's crucial for that right now.
Aw, I'm crucial. I feel loved.
And carrying over from the last session, all of the Dragon Maulers, thanks to, loyalty doesn't last for more than 5 minutes, so no one's technically immune to mind control effects. My bad.
Hooray! Oh god.
I just came up with the worst plan ever.
Kinda.
Share.
And and Powder Keg's the only one with the loyalty power?
Well,
Flotsam has it. Flotsam has it too.
Yeah, so Flotsam can perform a quick reset if necessary.
Presumably as long as she doesn't get affected. Or can she still use it if she does?
Didn't Powder
That's the
Keg
question
use loyalty on himself when Famine decided to go mess around in his head?
Yeah, you can.
But was Famine trying to stop him from doing that, though?
Not really. It's a bit questionable. I'd say you need to have some faculties available to, activate the loyalty ability.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You couldn't, activate it while you're asleep, for instance. And
Curses! So much for sleep talking.
But, I'd say in the worst case scenario, if you're currently controlled, you're aware of it, and you want to use loyalty, but find you're having difficulty, it would probably take some skill checks to muster up the will to perform it, and that'd be basically, the challenge there.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Okay, so we have 4 people. Javolt is currently manning the table. So if we had Flotsam standing by to use her loyalty thing to try and standing by as emergency loyalty power, then that means Tempered Steel could try and get Famine away, could try and separate Famine while Zenkarn try and does the whatever thing.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Keep in mind that this is kind of a very large gathering of raiders, and generally, basically whatever unless you find a way to get them separate from the main party, whatever you do, everyone's gonna see.
Okay, then.
I have a potential way to get Locust away, which would Flotsam. She's an expert on flora and fauna, right? Flotsam could ask her. Locust is one of the ones that we need to get away from Famine. Yes.
Yes.
And
Yep.
she is an expert on flora and fauna.
Yep.
Flotsam could potentially ask her.
Very much nature expert.
Could potentially ask her for advice about Craggy.
That might work if I don't know, you can get through to her. You haven't actually spotted them yet in the crowd.
Okay, that's fine. I think we're probably just looking around at the moment then.
Do you want to split up and go after both, or do one at a time?
I'm trying to think of it from the point of view of waiting for the others. If we maybe go after one, that would leave another one for us to deal with once the others can join us, maybe.
Yep, fair enough.
No, Tibbs.
So
Din specifically said he wanted Tibbs to talk to Locust, though.
Well, I can go after Scales, because I was going to do that. I was going to go do that anyway.
Yeah, I'm happy for Flotsam to just I'm happy for Flotsam to wait in the wings for now.
Okay, so
And then she and Tibbs can talk to Locust whenever Din gets here.
Okay, so there will be splitting up then, and some players
Yes.
may have to wait for others to arrive. Okay.
I'm fine with waiting. Although, can I just add one quick detail?
Hey,
Flotsam... Sorry?
Lapis, stand up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, out of it, not quite feeling up to it, but I'm here.
Well, too
and-
bad.
with that avatar.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that.
Anyway.
So, sorry, what I was going to say is, Flotsam has, again, made an effort to look nice. She's kind of combed her hair, put on that nice, uniform vest that Javolt made. She's also, if you will let me, she will have, scavenged through Javolt's scraps from when he was making the uniforms, and, got a little strip to make a hair bow for herself. If that's allowed.
Sorry, metal hair bow, or?
No, sorry, the scraps
cloth.
from the uniforms, the vests. So
For some
a
reason,
scrap
I
of
thought
brown
you
fabric.
meant metal scraps, and...
Oh, no, sorry, a scrap of brown fabric.
Alright.
That'd be a hardcore bow.
Idea for the future.
Alright, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Javolt, would you let her get away with that?
Probably.
Alright.
Hooray!
If he didn't make it himself, I mean.
Sweet. Flotsam asks Javolt for a hair bow.
Javolt gives her a hair bow.
Sweet.
And
No, I'm pretty-
that happened, okay.
So, okay,
It's the detail.
so we wanted to try and wait on Locust till Din gets back, so for now we're going to focus on Scales, correct?
Well, we probably should distract Famine before we go after his
Do we-
associates.
Do we want to go ahead with the dance-off?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, that's an actual thing that's happening?
Yeah.
Please let
Yeah,
it
no,
be
It's
an
an
actual
actual
thing.
thing that is happening.
We weren't joking.
Whatever, it's your session, guys.
Or would you really rather we didn't?
I guess
My reaction is
I'm-
it's not the first thing I would go for personally if I was doing this, but
It's the Dragon Maulers.
It's the
Stuff
thing?
sense.
it's a thing. But yeah,
Since
Lapis,
made sense.
session's basically starting where the last one left off. Party's getting started. Javolt set up a DJ table of all things. And basically right now we're just kind of in the planning stage.
I think the plan was for Tempered Steel to challenge Famine to a dance-off. Is that happening?
Honestly,
yes.
I don't think anyone has agreed on what the plan
Yep.
actually is yet.
Yep, that's totally happening. And then when Famine's distracted, I'll go off to Scales. Flotsam's gonna wait until Tibbs is back so we can go after Locust. And Lapis is going to... I'm guessing Powder's gonna help Steel? I don't know. Because I knew Powder was up there talking to
Yeah, Powder.
Famine from last session.
Yeah, last session actually ended with Powder Keg approaching Famine and delivering a line about, let's just party it up, even though we're enemies for one night. So you're gonna have to reconcile that little detail
Yeah.
with how the plan goes. And
Well, I
kind
believe the
of
plan
quiet,
was
too.
Powder Keg distracts Famine, and then everybody else finds the other people.
Yes, but how? Because
this
the
feeling
main problem is that Famine is once again surrounded by his associates.
But we found them though, right?
Powder
I
Keg
s-
certainly found them.
Right, and I ended last week where Temper Steel was already starting to get in with the dancing. So he will eventually find his way over to the general area that
Hold them back, sort of.
Okay, so let's try and get everyone straight, because it feels like, as far as the planning goes, they're, certainly got your goals laid out, but feels like there's a couple of different ideas for a plan, and not a whole lot of agreement. Is Temper still doing a dance-off? Is Powder Keg taking the lead on the distraction while the others go off? Who is doing what exactly right now? Suppose you found Famine and his, subordinates, sticking close by among the crowd. Powder Keg's made contact. What should happen next?
Hmm,
well, Temper Steel will dance his way
I
over to
think
the general area that Famines and Powder Keg are located.
Alright, Tempered Steel's doing the, Minotaur hustle?
Shuffle.
Shuffle?
I suppose if Tempered Steel tries to challenge a dance-off, Powder Keg will just get involved and go along with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't really see much else he'd do.
Or did you have another idea for distracting him?
Well, I believe my original concept of distracting him was just for, it's a raider party, so there's going to be a lot of different competitive activities, I would think. So Powder Keg was just going to try to engage Famine in as many competitions as he could in order to engage Famine's desire to be the best.
Well, we can start with a dance-off, and then if we need more distraction from
Yeah.
that, we can go from there.
Well, Famine's feelings that he is the best. Yeah, I'm good for dance-off.
All right.
So, in the general sort of dance zone, in the, I guess, sort of mid-northern part of the camp that Javolt has established, ponies, just seem to have collectively shrugged their shoulders and started dancing to Javolt's semi-sick beats or whatever. And, even Famine's getting in on this action a little bit. And in comes Tempered Steel.
Sick beats.
I guess. I don't know what...
We're back in the... Oh god, we're back in the 80s.
There are vaguely rhythmic noises coming from Javolt's kitchen sink DJ table.
And he's spouting out molecule chemical names as well.
In some extremely nerdy rap somehow. that no one can hear over the beat anyway.
No. I can actually imagine Javolt just going molecule, chemical names, molecule, chemical names, like like to the beat. Just like
No, he's saying hydrochlorines and tetraadrosine and stuff like that.
hydrocarbonic
Tetraadrosine.
The system is down. Anyway, no one got that crap. And now I feel... Anyway, so... In comes Tempered Steel, I guess, with his Minotaur Shuffle. And, being a big guy is, your dance moves kind of make a bit of a scene as you... What even is a shuffle? I don't know.
Well, I guess it'd have to be a variation of it, but I had a video of it last week. It's the Iron Will, what is it? That remix thing. You want to? I can. Yeah. Or that sounds even better. The MC Hammer dance.
So this was my main problem with this dance-off thing, is because I don't know the first freaking thing about dancing.
No, it's okay. You can just bullshit it. I'm sure you've seen enough TV.
Not really. No, I'm woefully under-equipped to at all describe or in any way. I need some help with this. Honestly, I need someone who knows more about dancing and dancing off to help with this. But of course, we're all nerds here. What are the odds of that?
I took
Okay,
modern
so
dance until I was
exactly.
12.
God, this session started off so awkward.
Maybe I should just provide
Just
a
roll,
background.
just
to them.
roll dexterity checks. Like, if you want a mechanic, like, just jump it into a mechanical section and don't bother with the roleplay. That'd probably be the easiest way of doing it.
That probably would, although I feel like an idea this
Acrobatic.
silly needs a bit more pomp and circumstance, and Lapis dropped from the call.
Damn it.
Does it really though, Spud? Does it?
Well, there is also the fact that pony dancing is different from human dancing because it's
that is true, except
So
for the
you
Minotaur in the room.
Shh.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm thinking that the whole tone is starting to change now, that it's not this sort of epic dance competition, but suddenly this actually kind of really awkward sort of affair where, like, everyone's kind of...
You'll want to watch it on the microphone, but that's what.
Yeah, exactly. I can't be watching any videos while I'm recording.
Good point.
No,
But
you totally
Famine can say no to the dance-off.
It's your guys' idea. I don't want to shut it down.
All you have to do is just describe his motions in a rhythmic way.
That would
Well, hell,
that would
Link
require
is-
rhythm.
What, you don't have
link
rhythm?
gifs, problem solved.
What?
Just link gifs of other people dancing, problem solved.
I can't do that on a
Oh my god, Carl
podcast.
Stan.
Of course you can.
What do I say? Like
You can-
letter
you can
out
show- you can-
URLs for GIFs?
You
That
can
will
show it
become-
on the stream, can't you? And just edit it into the video.
Yeah, but there's the podcast file that people actually listen to, the MP3.
Let
Yeah,
me
but
take
they're
over
wrong.
the dance-off. I can do
Yeah,
it.
let her do. She probably has an idea.
What's your idea?
Just various different moves against each other, like Tempered Steel tries to do something and Famine sees if he can top it, and then vice versa until there is a clear winner who emerges.
But I don't know any dance moves.
That's
I
why
don't.
take
And that's the kind of the major problem. I have backed myself into a corner. I shouldn't have agreed to this because I cannot equip my NPCs with the knowledge to do this.
Famine starts off with the Canterlot Canter. There.
And I'm back.
You missed absolutely nothing. Just awkwardness.
Okay, so we have the Minotaur Shuffle versus the Canterlot Canter. Who wins this round?
Dexterity check, go.
Which
Roll
one's-
acrobatics.
I will roll acrobatics.
What are you
Acrobatics.
doing?
One of my
What's your
skills.
dance move, Lapis?
Well, I think it's obvious that I am doing a real good hoedown dance. And by real good, I mean I fucked it up.
Okay, so I take it athletics isn't going to cut it for this.
No, it's acrobatics.
Acrobatics. You gotta be letting them feet.
Okay.
That's okay. As terrible as you are, Powder Keg, Famine is somehow equally as terrible. Like, almost on par with how badly he's screwing it up. And you can see that the crowd around him almost kind of wants to laugh, but then kind of, a lot of ponies just kind of sort of check themselves because they don't particularly want to die today.
I can agree with that sentiment. Not dying today sounds like a good idea.
Is
Tempered Steel, you need to...
Oh, wait. Okay, that'd be +5, so an 8.
Somehow, of the three of you, Powder Keg's horrible dancing comes out just barely on top. Of all three of y'all, horrible, horrible dancing.
Powder somehow gets the most on the applausometer.
Which is like a couple of notches above golf clap at this point.
Alright, don't worry. I'm gonna step it up with my next one. I'm gonna get a real good dance going here. I'm gonna do, let's see, what do I want to do now? What kind of dance? I gotta get the right flavor on my dance. Let's see. Gotta be something country-ish. Gotta keep to Powder
hearing
Keg's
mouse
roots.
clicking. Someone's searching.
square dance. Just go square dance.
With whom?
Hmm.
That's a...
Lots of
The problem is that a
Episode
square
dance.
dance is a multiple person
that's
dance.
a partner dance at the very least.
Ah,
And kind of a group dance at the most.
It's more of a
Line
group
dance.
dance.
square dance with the Minotaur.
Well, that would be a joint acrobatics check, and if we failed that,
Square dance with Blossom. She has better acrobatics.
Flotsam is supposed to be off using this as a chance to talk to Spot or whatever.
I know.
I can't remember the name, so I'm going to call them
Scales
Spot.
and or
They're Spot
Locust.
now.
Tempered Steel
They're
is going
Spot
to...
now. They're both Spot.
Tempered Steel is going
Spot
to do
is the
what I believe
default
is...
NPC name now.
No, Razor Pillow is the default.
Yes! Razor Pillow best NPC.
No.
No.
But
I can just hear Spud. I can hear you saying that, but I can just see Spud just shaking his head right now, just like, nope, not letting that happen.
I'm not just shaking my head, I'm shaking my
Not
finger
a
right now.
million
I'm wagging my
years.
finger at this.
Wagging my
Okay,
finger. I
since
wag
I'm
my finger at
apparently-
you, sir. I wag my finger at you.
Since I'm
He says
apparently
West Side
taking
Story dancing.
control of Famine and this dance off, Famine stops doing the canterlot canter and suddenly breaks into a spinning whirlatron. He's literally spinning on the floor.
Thank you, Master Reaver, for the support.
He's a maniac. Maniac on the floor, and he's dancing like he's never danced before.
Quite literally. And
It's
after kind of a poor first start, this dance move, this whatever it was Master Weaver said, is significantly more impressive.
Alright, time for Powder's, country shuffle, I guess. It's 24. I just outdance him totally.
Ooh.
Well, Tempered Steel is going to do what I believe is known as the monkey.
Whatever that happens to be.
I think that's where he.
Oh man, can you tell the DM's never actually been to much of a dance before? Oh no, this isn't
Well, I know it
totally
more from
embarrassing at all.
League of Legends Garen, but yeah, that thing.
This is the nerdiest freaking session of all time.
We're role playing.
Oh no, we've
His
an
dance
entire
off.
session talking about comics in character.
Yeah.
I honestly, 5 or 6 people trying to pretend to bust a move and failing miserably somehow paints a much more compelling picture of failure than any comic book discussion.
Well, I guess we
I
can all
don't-
just say when they say you can dance if you want to, they were lying. You really can't.
Hey,
Well, I
You need
rolled
more
another-
than just desire.
I made another roll for Steel. It doesn't seem to be coming up in the room.
And if your friends don't dance, that's really good because they probably suck at it just as much as you do. Because your friends don't
It
dance.
was a good roll, too.
Guys, it's nothing but dancing gifts in the chat right now. I can't
I'm
handle
not
this
even
now.
looking at them anymore.
I
I know they're probably funny, but So much dance.
Okay, Steel got a 17 on that.
All right.
Handle the dance.
Tempered Steel, despite improving, still not quite as quick on your feet as Famine or Powder Keg. Famine actually kind of overtakes you as far as the crowd pleasing goes. Just a tiny bit.
Really?
Are we doing just straight up D20s?
I'm doing straight up D20s. I'm not showing you the guys of the bonus.
Oh, okay.
But he just barely overtakes you in this round.
He's using mind control to curry favor with the audience.
He's using mind control, huh? Well then.
I didn't say the crowd was swayed by much.
No. Everything Valley says is canon.
No,
I thought we agreed on that.
Look, I'm clearly outdancing him, which means there's a combination of two things that are going into this. One, fear of famine. And two, he's probably using a subtle mind control right now just to kind of boost his favor.
I was actually getting...
At a glance, you don't detect any sort of magical...
Or he could just be really athletic.
...effect coming off him.
Then it's just people being afraid of him.
That might be part of it. Alright, you guys got another round in you? Because Famine's starting to try and take this from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Alright.
He's cut into the Alicorn action.
31. Beat that, Famine.
Oh my.
The Alicorn action is a mix of
oh my god.
Working and disco.
Oh, I've got a feat that I can use for this that I have not been able to use all game.
Oh no, what is it?
Yes.
I rolled a natural 20 for Famine's dancing.
And I make a natural 1.
Okay, with what utility is this?
Show them that you rock. It's a magic feat, it's a magic thing that's inherent to Minotaurs.
The magic points utility?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So what you're saying
amazing.
So when I roll a natural 20 and you don't like the result, you get to say it's a natural 1?
It reads, the power is show them that you rock. You can tell the DM to treat the result of a D20 roll he just made as a natural 1. No rerolls are possible.
Oh
so
my
he
god.
was just about to wow the crowd, and then...
You tripped him up, didn't you?
Tempered Steel somehow...
I'm going to justify it by saying he goes off and by the next dance he does comes completely out of left field. He's going to do the river dance.
I approve. Represent the Celts.
So, yeah.
Alright, so what happens with this is that Tempered Steel's river dancing and Famine's Alicorn action literally collide. Yeah, literally collide, tripping up kind of both of you and sending you both sprawling to the boos of the crowd.
And then meanwhile,
Powder Keg
totally takes over the dance floor with an amazing... He stops the country shit and just goes into a full-on break dance, just kind of spinning around across the floor.
Hit on your horn! Wait.
Spin like a top?
Yep. Spinning like a top.
That's gotta hurt against the ground.
He's got
no logic,
hooves.
only dance.
No logic, only dance. Exactly, Dally.
Well, at that point, Famine just gets up absolutely incensed because of Tempered Steel's blunder, and now Powder Keg has basically completely taken over the dance floor, and Famine's just absolutely like, "Ugh!"
Yeah, it's a natural pony thing. Dancing.
What's the matter, What's the matter, Famine? Having a little trouble there?
If it wasn't for your frickin' clumsy Minotaur friend, I would have owned this.
You can keep on thinking that, Famine.
He just comes up close to you and, pokes his hoof into your chest and says, "We are not over with this."
Alright, there's plenty of competition going on here. Name a game, I'll win.
Alright.
And Javolt uses this time to somehow change the disco light into red spotlights around them.
When do you have enough time to set up a lighting grid?
Probably
He
in the
has,
time that he was setting up.
That
He
was a
has
rhetorical
Igor
question.
doing
You
the lighting.
didn't.
Igor's handling the lights.
And the speakers?
She's
Igor's very
awesome
good at
at that.
I will be right back. I just have to do something really fast.
Alright.
So has the other half of the team been successful in their part of the operation while this has been going on?
Meanwhile, while that's going down, I guess it's Zenkarn and
No, it was just me, because Tibbs was going off with, Flotsam.
Flotsam to go see. So I guess
Look.
it's just Zenkarn right now.
Oh god, don't make me carry this session.
Could Aurelia go with them?
You'll take Aurelia or Chica or
Chica.
something.
Yeah, I guess Chica will head off with you.
Just because
Cool.
it's always a bad idea to leave Zenkar on his own.
Aww, I
No,
resent
I just mean because we want to keep you safe.
that. Sure you do.
Aurelia,
Element of honesty, remember?
Aurelia is just kind of enjoying the party, not really along with the plan. She's just kind of living it up,
Oh, she gets
impressing
to be a
all
teenager.
the raiders with her dragon abilities and whatnot. But yes, it's you and Chica as you head off into the crowd while this really awkward-looking dance-off gets started on the sort of impromptu dance floor that Javolt has set up.
And back.
That's not how you pronounce awesome, Spud.
It didn't start that way. It got better.
Thank you so much for letting us do that. I know it was difficult, but it was really...
Thank you, Weaver, for supporting me on that with Famine's moves. Cause,
Yeah, definitely.
Let's move on. So, yes, while the dance-off was happening, Zenkarn, what are you and Chica doing?
Well, going to go look for Scale, I guess.
Scales. It's
Yep.
plural.
Sorry.
No problem.
So we'll go look for him.
Alright. So, I actually end up having to kind of get into the crowd onlooking the dance-off, because, true to form, Famine's subordinates are close by, just kind of keeping watch very stoically. And one of them you notice is this kind of grizzled-looking old unicorn stallion with this this sort of golden scales as his cutie mark, almost obscured by the orange body paint.
Fair enough.
And he's
I'll...
just looking on passively, giving little hoof stomps when his boss makes a move, but otherwise showing not a whole lot of emotion.
Fair enough. I will walk up, I guess, and be like, so, you're Scales, right?
He just looks at you, says nothing, and looks back at the dance floor.
I heard you handle all the sort of in-house justice stuff. What's that like?
I'm not here to answer trivia. Go away.
Why can no one ever be cooperative? Alright, I'll be like, alright.
You notice that Chica has disappeared into the crowd somewhere.
Yay. I don't even have people to bounce ideas off this time. Alright, cool. Alright, so I'll look at him and be like, alright, fair enough, if you don't want trivia questions. Here's something that's not, so much so. What's your opinion on your boss?
He's a fine leader.
Really?
Absolutely. I can think of no one else more suited towards leading the Four Horses gangs.
Oh, come on. No one? And can I try and... Can I try and do the thing I did with Tibbs? See if I can make it so he has to answer honestly?
You can, actually.
Sweet.
It's less likely to make any attempt to break the control, but,
That's that. Just more curious to see if he... see his actual opinion.
Well, it also makes it less likely to Famine to notice that his control has been broken.
that's true. If there's any sort of link, he won't notice if you don't break it, but instead subvert it.
So, plus that. Not getting any additional bonuses for anything, I don't think.
Not on this, other than if
Yeah.
you're still using the totem.
Yes, please, if I can.
All right.
Wow, that's terrible. 27 plus anything else.
Scales his eyes narrow ever so slightly, and he says, "Look, just about any pony else, he's running this gang into the fucking ground." And then then the little bit of emotion you saw on his face quickly disappears.
Ah, right. In that case, I'm going to do the intelligent thing that I should have done before I said hello. I'm going to take party time mentals.
Yes,
Roll
the
me-
intelligent thing is to take
Totally
drugs.
was.
Roll me a d20, please.
Oh, God. 19!
Okay, you managed to avoid addiction.
Aww,
Today.
that's fun.
For 1 hour, you have +8 to knowledge and horse sense.
Cool. Cause Tibbs gave me a free one last session, so I can just take that off, which takes me back down to 2! Yay!
And
Cool.
let me just say, it is absurd luck that you managed to avoid getting addicted to them with this one.
Oh, I absolutely know that, don't worry. Cool. So I'll just keep sort of talking to him. I'll be like, so, like, when you say almost anyone, I mean, you deal with practically everyone in the gang, right? So, I mean, a lot of people look up to you. Roll again.
Yeah, because he's definitely in his normal state. He's not at all inclined to be answering any of your questions.
Gosh, he's not. That'd be helpful. 36.
Much better this time around.
Yay.
Scales gets that moment, that very slightest hint of clarity in his expression. His head tilts slightly towards you, and he says, "I do my best to stay aware of all the issues in this gang. So yes, you could say I know many of the raiders that remain here, and a few that have gone away to the other side."
Would you say they respect you at all? Like, I would assume, like, you're in a fairly high position of authority. Most of them would definitely look up to you.
The effect of this current line of questioning lasts long enough for him to say, my word is final, and then he just goes back to looking kind of blank again.
Okay. So, out of curiosity, if, say, the position became available, would you take it? Come on, not crap. Yes! CMC! I'm sorry.
Dude,
46 cutie more critical.
I'm sorry.
Hopped up on party time mentals that you're not going to get addicted to today. How does this happen? Alright.
Does he just get control of him now?
I own your soul.
The dice god giveth, and the dice god taketh away.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna nat 1. Anytime I do anything actually important for the rest of the session, I'm
Oh
gonna nat.
yes, but well, hey, this is actually important. You're basically getting control of this guy.
Well, maybe. We'll see what Spud says.
Scales, the sort of, bits and sparks of clarity you saw before, actually kind of come back more full force as you ask your question. And he says, "Well, I don't know if I could stand up to gods like death or pestilence, but I suppose if Conquest can make his way into their pantheon, and this gang needs a better leader than Famine's doing, then if necessary, perhaps I wouldn't choose it, but if necessary, I would."
Would you say... Well, if you wouldn't take it, would you say put maybe Locust in the position?
Locust would also be a fine candidate, if only for her knowledge and talent alone, and the fact that she'll definitely outlive me for many decades to come. I'm getting on years.
If
you
we could...
notice that whereas before your windows of opportunity faded for a while, this one's going on for much longer. He's still technically under thrall, but his compulsion to answer your questions is with truth and is still in full force even after these questions.
Alright. So if we can say, I don't know, put Locust on the throne, so to
Ask
speak.
him for proof that Famine did those things.
In a sec. If we could put her on the throne, so to speak, you would be fully supportive?
If she could handle it. To be honest, I don't know how Conquest is handling his ascension. I do not know what the process is. I don't know if any one of us mortal ponies could take it. But if she's if she's capable, then absolutely I would support it.
Good to know.
Although Conquest is a still very strong pony, I do not know if Locust alone could make that, not her current strength.
But with someone like you, someone liked and respected enough?
Perhaps. Yes.
Then would you?
Perhaps if we somehow made it, I don't know, partnership.
It's definitely in the cards. But
that's in theory.
Of course. Always just in theory.
After all, and he looks like he's starting to fade a little bit, although, not like back to completely stoic again, but just a little bit. And he says Famine is a fine leader.
Oh, of course, I'm sure he has his moments. But yeah, I mean, you're sort of everywhere at once. This whole thing where with the camped, religious nuts and all these other big sort of issues that some of the others are facing. You wouldn't happen to know if Famine had a hand in that, would you?
Do you mean? I do not know what you refer to. Be more specific.
Oh, would Famine, say, have anything to do with the cultists who are camped outside? I don't remember the name off the top of my head. Because I can't say Death Phylactery, obviously. God, where are they? Where is it?
I'd say cultists threatening death at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go with that.
Death. Is he behind the threats to death, the pestilence? Is he behind that?
Yeah, is he behind the threats towards the other leaders?
He seems to think with a little bit of effort, and he says, I do not know about any cultist movement, but I did oversee in some small part sending some of the famine raiders we share with the executive over to the charred grove, not to collect anything, but to make sure that War's scouts saw them there.
Of course. Thank you. I link up with Flotsam and I sort of give her all this information and anything else I should ask while I'm here?
I can't think of anything.
Hold on, I phased out. Did Scales have anything to say about the
Yeah,
threats?
no, he bluntly said that Famine was behind guys being at the charred grove. And so he would have been behind Pestilence's poisoning.
But no word on whether he had any. There's proof if he had anything to do with that. You know what?
No, but really, we only need to get him on one of the three. It doesn't really matter about the other two as much.
Okay.
I also don't remember what Wars was, but that's cool.
Well, War doesn't have anything yet from what he told you.
Right. I remember stuff. It's all good.
Kind of weird that Conquest hasn't gotten a threat yet.
Too new, I guess.
Maybe.
I turned back to Scales and I'm like, they had a good talk. Thanks for all that.
I suppose.
I remember, all theoretical.
Yes, of course. So that despite your impressive success, and perhaps this session could go on a bit longer, but the rate of decay, as it were, is starting to increase.
I'll sort of nod, sort of pat him on the shoulder, and I'll be like, it was an interesting little talk about the justice system. Hope we can do it again, and walk off.
All right. Eventually, one of the Death Raiders kind of comes up beside you, and under the hood you see this kind of flash of green eyes, and you hear Chica's voice say, "How did it go?"
Pretty good. Pretty much confirmed that Famine was behind the Charred Grove, so that's one of them at least.
What exactly about the Charred Grove? Did he actually poison Pestilence?
Well, all Scales said was that he'd sent people there so that Death Scouts would see him, would see Famine's raiders there. Couldn't or wouldn't give me any more specifics.
I think I actually said that. I think Scales actually said not to collect anything, just to make sure that War Scouts saw them there.
Yep, that.
So they didn't actually collect anything.
Apparently not.
So why? Well, one, why bluff if you don't have any follow through, and two, then didn't Pestilence have a nightmare last night?
Yeah. He also said, I'm pretty sure, and do correct me if I'm wrong, that some of the scouts that were there, he organized some of the ones who left to go work for the executive.
He did say that he, organized the raiders that were part of the executive. There was some, cooperation going on there.
Yeah. So we definitely know that those two are still cooperating.
All right. Were you able to remove any of the mind control, or?
I thought about it, but that close to Famine, he's likely to notice what's going on. I did, however, get the fact that Scales would fully support would either support or, would prefer to go into a partnership with Locust if we can get rid of him.
I guess that's helpful. All right. I'll continue to keep an eye out. Maybe see. All right. And Chica, in her disguised form, kind of drifts back into the crowd.
Fair enough.
All right. I guess back with the dancing group. At this point, we're back to Famine, poking Powder Keg in the chest, saying this isn't over yet.
And Powder Keg responded, name a game, I'll beat you.
I know of a few of War's camp that are setting up a little bit of a trial of accuracy. Maybe we can go over there.
Accuracy, huh? Alright then. Let's do it.
Alright. He looks back into the crowd and says, Scales, Locust, all of you, come with me. And the four immediate subordinates come out of the crowd and stick close to Famine as he leads you along. Does any pony else there follow?
Tempered Steel's going to go with.
If Locust is going as well, Flotsam might follow, but I don't mind too much if it's going to get crowded.
You might want to follow.
Yeah, you might want to follow.
Need to get. This might be our chance to get Locust alone while he's distracted by trying to beat Powder Keg at an accuracy competition.
Okay.
I'll
just
follow along, but at a distance.
It doesn't even really
Flotsam
matter who wins these contests, honestly, though it's likely that Famine will be distracted by trying to win longer if Powder wins, but these kind of competition things always go on until someone's really outplayed the other by a far margin.
Yeah.
Just to retcon then, if Flotsam hasn't talked to Locust yet, she will just have been milling around, probably talking to the foals, actually, trying to get some info from them, or just chatting with them. And so if Locust is going somewhere, she, and I'm guessing probably Tibbs will follow as well, though.
I'm assuming, hopefully Din will be able to join in sometime soon, but I'm assuming that Tibbs is basically in the team with Flotsam.
Yeah, so where Flotsam goes, unless Din states otherwise when he gets back, Tibbs goes.
Yes, exactly. So, Famine and his gang lead you all down towards more of the southeastern part of the camp, where near one of the armory stalls, someone's set up this little sort of shooting gallery, but it's with these little targets at the back of the stall, but instead of using guns or any sort of projectile, it's got this whole row of throwing daggers. Famine looks to you and says, "Perfect for a couple of unicorns. Can you throw these things towards the furthest targets and most accurately?"
I'm guessing this is a straight precision check?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And
So,
both of you
Powder
just
Keg just
line up and
grabs a knife with his magic and says, let's go.
Yep.
First shot. Oh, well, that's a terrible roll.
You want me to let you re-roll it, or are you good with that?
No. This is only the first round. I have some room.
both of you
Or-
with your first set of daggers, both you and Famine actually do pretty terribly.
But I
Mostly,
do outdo him by 7, so...
well, I'm not showing the modifier.
Oh,
I
true.
never have for NPC rolls.
Good point.
You call those throws?
Then.
Yeah, most of you miss. One dagger maybe grazes one of the nearer targets for next to no points, and
Yeah, well, here's my second one. Laugh at that.
Now that's a throw.
That's a bullseye, is all I'm saying.
Now that's a knife.
Well, I mean, they were always knives.
the second volley.
Right.
Both of you definitely, now that you've warmed up, you've both improved. But Famine mostly ends up going for more of the middle targets, and you actually managed to land one way at the back. Not quite dead on, but still fairly impressively. And definitely outscoring him.
Oh, come on, Famine, going for the baby targets?
Just scrunches his face at you and magically picks up the last set of knives.
Alright, let me see how he does. At least I get a good idea.
He completely flubs it, all three of them. Seems that his magical dexterity is not the greatest.
Powder Keg throws another group at the back target.
One of them misses, but two of them, they're not bullseyes, but they're pretty close to the center, and of course, with Famine's last really terrible volley, you managed to just completely outpace him in terms of score, and you win the War Raider manning the stall just kind of gives an uneasy look at Famine, and as he says, "I guess Powder Keg wins." And Famine just gives him this extremely dark glare, as if to say, like, "You're next."
Ho-ho!
And he just gives you another glare and says, "Best 3 out of 5?
You're on. What's the next game?
Alright. I think at this point, I know Din's still not here yet, but, Flotsam, do you want to try for talking to Locust at this point?
I can go either way. I'm happy to wait if you'd like, but if you'd rather get on with the locust thing, I'm also happy to do that as well. So
By the
whichever.
way, can I just say that it is so cathartic to be kicking Famine's ass right now? Like, oh my god.
At Simple Little Games.
Maybe simple little games, but anything to stick it to this asshole. I mean, you can tell he's a very sore loser.
Yeah, he most certainly is. Definitely not used to...
How difficult would it be for Temper's Steel to just do a casual throw of one just to try his own hand at it?
He's not used to being the loser because no one else has the balls to go in and just beat him like that, and everyone else would lose on purpose. Or he forces them to lose on purpose with mind control, more recently.
Yeah, basically.
How difficult would it be for Temper's Steel to just do one throw his
Oh,
own?
yeah, you can step up and do a throw of your own.
Okay.
That's a
That's
precision
with
check.
straight up precision.
Straight up.
19.
Mm.
Even I can do it better than you.
No, actually, you don't manage to...
Oh, he doesn't? Oh,
No.
right. I'm forgetting. Okay, forget I said that. I
You
completely
definitely do better than Famine, but not quite as good as Powder Keg did in any of his volleys. Kind of.
Well, he was referring to Famine, not Powder Keg, but
Famine just completely pretends not to notice you at all as he leads Powder Keg in the group elsewhere. And he says, How about going in on a more local game, more local flavor?"
Baseball.
Yep, he heads
Is it
up.
Faceball?
He heads up
Yeah.
a bit north and heads towards some of the kids who are starting up another game of baseball.
Yay!
oh boy.
How do you play this one?
It's very simple, and then he proceeds to explain the rules that are absolutely not simple in any way, shape, or form. It's, imagine if Calvin Ball was played with a taxidermied severed head.
Excellent.
Basically, just rules
Wow.
being changed up all the time and very obscure, never the same way twice.
Tempered Steel is going to be stepping away from where this is happening.
Wow.
And
I guess Powder Keg's gonna play some faceball. But first I gotta say, teach me how to play some faceball, coach. Are you gonna learn me how to play some faceball?
well, it's a team game. I say we'll be team captains. I pick a kid, you pick a kid, and then we'll play.
They're playing this with kids?
He looks out to the crowd of Raider kids and he says, "What do you think?"
Alright then.
And the kids look kind of halfway between sort of terrified and completely confused, but, mostly just kind of nod, not really sure what else to do.
Can Flotsam, since she is following the group, call out to them, "You'll kick butt, guys!"
Alright then. Who's picking first? Wanna flip for it?
He just kind of shoots you a wry grin and says, Since I lost the last 2 games, how about I pick first anyway?"
Alright then.
Right off the bat, Famine picks one of the war kids who looks to be one of the more athletic ones.
Alright then. I pick Flotsam.
Flotsam beams.
Famine just the look he gives you just is both just kind of like really and also, damn it, I should have thought of that. He picks the other War Raider kid who seems to be the first one's brother.
Flotsam, didn't you play this with some kids?
I did. They're really
Why don't
good.
you pick one of your friends then?
Flotsam is actually going to pick that death kid she spoke to before.
All right, the kid kind of sees you, remembering his your victory last time, kind of more confidently than usual trots over to your side.
I grin and hold up my hoof for a hoof bump.
There's a part of me that wishes Smack Talk was here right now.
Oh,
If nothing else to provide color commentary.
yes! Oh my gosh.
Famine ends up picking one of the Famine Raider kid that's there, and what's left for you is then one of the somewhat scrawnier looking Pestilence gang members, kids.
Damn, that way someone's going to be left out.
No, it ends up with even teams that way.
Yeah, that's true. No, yeah. Flotsam will look at Powder Keg.
Yeah,
You want to choose the last one?
it's that kid. We're getting that Pestilence kid. He's the only one left in the crowd. Or at least the only one who's willing.
Oh, sorry, I
Yeah,
totally
that's what I meant.
I'm so sorry, I misheard that as a plural. My bad. Yes, we pick him.
All right, the teams are set, and you'll Famine goes to one side of the field and seems to start saying something in hushed tones towards the kids.
Can we roll perception to overhear him?
You can.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll that as well. Wait. what
I'm
did I do?
probably not gonna succeed, but I'm gonna roll anyway, and I probably didn't succeed.
13. Yeah, you can't quite pick up what he's saying.
Yeah, how's that?
25?
25. You kind of listen in, hover a little closer, and you hear him say, with kind of his teeth gritted, saying, "All right, let's have a fun, nice, fair game and win, okay?" His tone.
Oh dear God, these children are going to die. What?
His tone kind of carrying a very overtly sinister undertone that seems to kind of make the kids sort of shiver a bit. The Raider kids on your side definitely don't look terribly enthusiastic about the prospect of, facing one of their own leaders in a game of baseball, of all things.
Can I turn around and talk to Baby Death and Baby Pestilence and kind of say,
Baby Pestilence, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
you may.
"Are you guys going to be okay fighting against Famine? I haven't heard great things about him."
The kids look at each other, and the Pestilence kid says, I mean, he's, one of the 4 horses. You can't. I don't think he'd do anything bad if we beat him, but can we even win against a pony like that?
Oh, sure. Powder's been winning against him.
Not to mention your fight that you may have, that we may be fighting one of the ones who's leading this gang, but on your team is the one who actually killed one of the guys in your leading your gang. So
the death kid looks up at you and says, "Are we going to kill him?"
No.
Ixnay.
But what I'm saying is that I'm strong enough to fight with him.
Mm-hmm. The death kid nods and says, "All right, let's do this."
Plus, you guys are really good. Remember when we played last time? She points out a couple of the really good shots that they made when they played earlier.
Well, that was... The death kid kind of shuffles a bit and says, "That was mostly you."
No, I couldn't have done it without you guys, seriously.
Death kid blushes, but definitely seems to take the compliment.
Come on. Think of it this way. All of them are going to be playing for themselves, especially Famine. We play as a team. We're not playing for glory. We're not playing for ourselves. We're playing for the team. Think of it as a team. And if you don't, well, then we'll probably lose. So,
Let's just have fun. It doesn't
good
matter.
teamwork.
All right.
I don't expect good teamwork from Famine. He ain't a team player.
Go team, Flotsam says, and she puts her hoof in the middle for one of those all hands in kind of...
Yeah, all hooves in, and you have a
What
big
team? Oh, God.
And Famine just shouts over, "Are you ready yet? Jeez!"
We're
Ready
ready.
as ever.
All right. Let's see, Flotsam and Powder Keg roll some, I guess, athletics.
All right, that's an expert skill. Let's see, there's 25. How many times do you want us to roll?
I'm treating this as another kind of skill challenge type thing.
So roll 3.
We'll just one at a time right now.
All right. Falling with style in case I botch.
Oh, holy crap, that's a 19 without mods. Sheet.
Only a 17 for me, I'm afraid.
25 and 17 on your side, and without modifiers, a 7 and 19 on my side. So, it's hard to describe what's actually happening in this game of Faceball. Definitely Powder Keg's, despite Powder Keg's, being new to the game, he definitely moves fast enough to compete in it. Flotsam has a little trouble as Famine seems to be blocking her very specifically to make sure she, doesn't get as many opportunities as she can.
For flavor, can Flotsam be shouting out instructions to Powder Keg since she has a tiny bit more experience than he does?
Of course, yeah. Ultimately, what decides this part of the match is that the kids on your side are far more motivated than the kids on Famine's side, who just seem to be just kind of more unnerved than anything else and can't really focus.
Oh, quick question. Eli just asked, and that's actually a good point, is haste applicable? For the next 5 minutes, you or an ally gains a +5 bonus to athletics or acrobatics to move quickly, such as chasing down a thief or trying to outrun a boulder. I'm not sure if that would actually...
Well, Faceball does tend to involve a lot of running around from, point to point and goal to goal, so... I actually think it would apply here.
Yay! Thanks for the tip, Eli.
Who has haste?
I have haste.
Can you apply it to both of us?
I can apply it to... hang on. Let me double check that, actually. I have 3 per day. Could I apply it to myself and Powder Keg?
Yeah, if the activation time allows.
It's instantaneous.
So yeah.
Cool, and then put one on the Pestilence kid, because he looks to be the weakest.
Yeah, okay. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm so glad Eli's in the chat.
Alright, cool, so next round?
Yeah, next round. Go for it.
I rolled a nat 1, so I'm going to use Awesomeness to make that a nat 20, which is a cutie mark critical.
Okay.
Let me just check how many, falling with styles I have to call. I have 5 per day, okay, that should be fine. So I'm calling falling with style again, and it's a 24.
Alright. Powder Keg, did you nat 1?
I nat 1, but I said then I use Awesomeness, which makes it a nat 20, which is a once per day ability, which means it's a cutie mark critical because Athletics is an expert skill for me.
Right, yes. So, basically, on this part of the game, you guys just absolutely steamroll them with, haste on the kids and whatnot, you end up gaining kind of a massive lead. But you notice as your lead grows, the kids on Famine's side look more and more afraid and start, running faster and, competing much harder and harder as if they're deathly afraid of losing.
Shoot.
If only we could tell them that Famine's going to be dead by the end of the night, then they wouldn't worry so much.
I used to say that Famine cut out Smack Talk's tongue. Flotsam is going to remember this partway through the session and kind of freeze as she sees the terrified looks on their faces and remembers what Famine is capable of. She is going to turn to Powder and try and get close to him and mouth, "Aim for a draw."
All right.
You can see she's actually quite perturbed as well.
Powder Keg doesn't seem to quite have that line of thinking in mind, so he's not really quite sure, but he doesn't really feel like arguing at the moment, so he just kind of nods and goes along.
All right, one more round of checks.
So this time, if we get high enough, we say it to just,
you can
play as good as possible to make sure this ends in a draw.
You can, pull your punches a little bit.
Oh, well, I don't even need to pull my punches. I rolled a 2, so I get a 16 total.
I got a 28. I might accidentally pass the ball to the opposing team at inopportune moments.
All right, the other side is, despite whatever Famine told these kids, they're still, despite their, erratic, panicked, harried nature, they're still kind of playing not as well as they should be, despite, the 2 war kids being the most athletic of them. Famine's still, Famine, at this point in the game, has taken the role of, basically the only player on his team. Flotsam, you managed to pass it to the other kids who managed to take advantage and score some points in their own way. And at this point, one of the ponies nearby raises himself up and says, "Time," and the score turns out that Famine's gang beat you guys by 1 point.
Flotsam breathes a sigh of relief, and then turns around with a big grin to her teammates. "We only lost by 1 against a demigod. That's amazing, you guys. Well done."
Without so much as a hint of irony, the 2 kids immediately just agree and jump with joy.
Oh, can I keep them? Sorry.
Powder Keg kind of casually kicks the dirt, and
Famine immediately starts gloating, dancing in place, going, "Ha ha ha! That is how it's done, Powder Keg."
Yeah, well, it's still best 3 out of 5.
Oh, this is only the beginning, my friend, only the beginning. The night is still young.
What's the next game?
Well, let me think. I think I know something we can do. And he starts leading you off more of a westerly direction towards the death camps.
Flotsam is staying behind for a bit to check that the war kids are okay.
The kids that are left behind that were on Famine's team just kind of, one of the war kids looks to you, Flotsam, and just kind of nods his head knowingly and mouths the words "thank you."
I smile and say, "Good game."
Good game. Good game. Very good game. Alright. My goodness, I'm kind of...
Come on, what's the next game I get to kick Famine's ass at?
Okay, so...
just very well at kicking his ass in this one. Sorry.
Well, it's only because... See, if Flotsam hadn't been let's pull our punches, Flotsam's score would have been really good, and then I would have probably done something to boost Powder so that we'd win that, too.
Flotsam will explain her reasoning to him later.
Javolt
But not
is
now.
sort of vaguely aware of the plan, and while he's busy doing his disc thing, he's trying to wave over Zenkarn or Chica since they talked to the guy.
Alright.
Sure, I'll go over.
Yeah, Chica and Zenkarn head over to Javolt.
Yeah, Javolt moves his mouth away from the microphone and says, What's the result? What's going on?"
From what we can tell, Famine Scales was involved in at least one of the operations. Although it doesn't look like Famine's... It seems to be Famine's threat, but it doesn't seem to have any teeth behind it.
Hmm.
And it's... I don't know, anything else? Yeah, Scales seems like he'd be willing to step up. Doesn't seem to like Famine at the end of the day.
Right.
I don't know if Flotsam's made any progress with Locust yet.
So, we have evidence and one replacement.
We don't really have evidence unless we can, free Scales or Locust, because all you did was use your truth compulsion, right, Zenkarn?
Pretty much. I wasn't gonna, let him go
How
that
long
close
was
to...
he free for when you used that?
He wasn't free as such, but, I don't know. Little while?
You'll forgive me, but if Scales were to come forth with this evidence during the apocalypse, would that constitute any response on the part of the other raider leaders?
Quite possibly?
I imagine it would.
You'd have to think so.
Yeah, of course. One of Famine's subordinates coming forward with the truth, then yes.
I mean, would that constitute an immediate terminal reaction from the other leaders?
Well, it would.
If we could definitely show with proper evidence that he's definitely working for the executive and
trying to threaten the other 4 horses, then yeah.
Chica, why don't you take over here? I need to have a talk with Scales.
Why? And you're not going to get anything out of him, because unless I was forcing him to talk, he just ignored everything and everybody.
Yes, they're definitely
Don't worry, I have a plan. And Javolt walks off.
Somebody stop him. Stop him right now.
Chica raises a hoof, then lowers it, says, I am not manning this table. I'm not taking control of this table, and then she goes to follow Javolt, saying, no, please, either stop or explain. Well, you're not going to
man the table. Zenkarn has to man the table. Zenkarn, what's your singing voice like?
Javolt, what are you doing?
Something crazy.
No, please,
Weaver,
no.
Weaver, to you. I'm going to say, this is one of those moments when you really need to recognize that this isn't just an in-character reaction. This is an out-of-character
No. In some ways, I'm curious.
Waves Chica over to an isolated spot.
I want to know what you're going to try, so we can tell you not to do it.
This was before I met you, but there was a powerful enchantment on the doors around the radio tower. And I managed to not only subvert it, but take control of it. My plan here is simple. I need to put in a small degradation into the mental magic that is controlling Scales, so that he doesn't break free immediately, but that he breaks free sometime during the apocalypse.
You have some kind of spell-jacking ability?
I have to. I prefer to use proper technology, but all that's in the waste is all this arcanotech. It's hard to adapt, but not impossible.
Okay. Chica actually looks a bit more reassured that you actually have a plan and not something that doesn't actually sound crazy. And she says, all right, I wish you'd actually explain that before walking off, but...
You see, whenever I try to explain things to the other people, they don't listen.
No, you just explained it now, and you've never really done that before. At least not to me.
Ah, well.
I think... She just kind of shakes her head. I think you take the time to explain and then forget to.
That might actually explain a lot. Yvonne suddenly looks very thoughtful.
Maybe it's another memory problem?
Yes, I have a lot of those. Do you...
Anyway, yes, if you can actually... I never thought you'd have some kind of magic ability, but if you can do that...
Well...
But no, wait. No, Famine's going to know if you do this.
That's why it has to be a slow degradation, one that doesn't completely eliminate the spell.
But if you're not careful, he's going to know that his active spell, is being tampered with. So, I mean, I don't know how your magic works, but if you're not careful, it might give away the game.
Do you have any suggestions?
Try to be stealthy about it? I don't know. I'm not exactly an expert on spelljacking.
Right. Well, part of the problem is that we need Famine distracted. And for Famine to be distracted, I need to appear to still be at the table.
Well, Famine's going off to compete in these games of competition with Powder Keg or whatever, so I think he's plenty distracted enough.
All right.
I'm sure Igor can handle, the...
She might have some trouble. It's hard to operate the discs without hooves, but for the most part, yes.
I really don't want to deal with the DJ table.
I suppose I should have asked Zenkar.
I don't think he wants to deal with it either.
All these ponies, no one has a musical talent.
I'm sure they do, but this is so not... Well, I guess in the Wasteland, music is kind of a rare thing.
Well then.
And certainly no one would be, some kind of disc jockey. Yeah.
Right. So,
unless you're a radio host, I suppose.
Yeah. So now, has Javolt gotten in range of scales?
Well, I imagine you kind of have to take Chica aside right now, so haven't actually made much progress towards him, but
okay,
as soon as that conversation ends, and if you go your separate ways, then you can make your way towards Scales.
Yeah, Javolt walks up to Scales. Hello there!
Your loud outburst not only gets him to look at you impassively for a second, but also a number of the ponies around you.
Javolt wraps an arm around Scales and says, us old ponies got to stick together, right? Come on, let me get you a drink.
Scales rather roughly pushes you off and says, I'm not here to chat. Go away.
You certainly must remember all those good old days. I do. Partially.
He starts ignoring you now. Just flat out ignoring you.
Why, I remember! Do you remember the raid of 073?
God damn it. You're going to attract Famine.
No, he's trying to look like he's being his old, completely random self here.
Oh, yeah.
No, it makes sense.
That is actually clever. Never mind then. Continue.
Famine, as you approach the... Okay, so at this point, Famine's led your group over to the Arcanist tents, and the game involved here is it's more magical test of concentration.
Shit.
Question, would the more magic in the area make it harder to detect anything Javolt does? Or less?
You don't know.
Can I roll knowledge for that?
Sure.
Which knowledge should I roll?
Well, Arcana for, magical knowledge.
Alright. This is not the spell-shifting Arcana. This is just rolling. To see how the magic would affect the area. I got a 19.
Well, assuming that, with the magic in the area providing a little bit of a charge, and assuming that Famine is somewhat magically distracted from maintaining his active spell, either it makes him more sensitive to it, or he's too distracted to notice any sort of small shifts here. It's one of the two. With your 19, you're not sure which.
So Javolt sort of accidentally bumps close to Powder Keg and says, keep him really distracted. And then he goes back to reminiscing about the old days with that.
As they enter the tents, Famine just kind of looks at Javolt with a weird look, and just like, that's not one of yours, is it?
What? Oh.
Don't mind Javolt. He's just insane.
What, the mad scientist, donkey?
Sane scientist! Saner than you are!
Sure, whatever. And he heads into the tent.
Nicely done.
I'm a little kind of like, put off by it. It's Javolt being clever.
Okay.
It has been known to happen.
Yeah, it feels like one of those rare magical moments is about to happen.
Since it involves a lot of magic, eh?
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm not so sure about this one.
I'm sure it's...
I wonder if Zenfire could roll to
Famine
maybe...
grins at you and says, "What's the matter? Feeling the heat?"
Okay, so... Is Famine significantly distracted here?
The game, which, in sort of loose terms, is about basically magically levitating these objects in the air and kind of maintaining that grip and forcing the other one to drop them through just sheer telekinesis, basically.
Oh boy, so I guess I'm gonna have to roll Arcana.
Yep. And Javolt, you can tell at least...
Unless you're willing to let me try something else.
If you
Oh wait,
come up with
Arcana's
something.
actually 10, so it's not horrible.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
I
Javolt,
could also maybe roll Precision for the focus if necessary. But that's also 10.
Just roll something. Javolt, you can tell...
Oh, well, that's a 21.
Can you please let me speak?
I'm sorry.
Javolt, you can tell that the game has begun. And, Famine is now actively using his magic.
Right, so Javolt sort of still has his hoof wrapped around Scales, and he's sort of reminiscing over something or other, and he's going to try
At this point, a lot of the ponies around you have started, stepping back ever so slightly. Scales tries to shove you off of him.
Well, he's going to try to subtly put in the whole mental control goes away tomorrow spell without anyone noticing it's there. And I'm going to use my destiny thing for that, which is plus 40 if in contact, I think.
In contact with
Scales, in this case.
What is
with
the wording
spell
of the destiny?
Make an Arcana check with a plus 30 bonus to control a magical device or machine. He's not a machine, is he?
He is not a device or machine.
Okay, then I'll use the other one, which is just plus 30 bonus to alter an ongoing magical effect. So plus 30 bonus.
Yes, indeed.
All right, should I
That's
just
a lot of
roll
bonus.
that? Should I roll that?
Yes, you should. Now
Okay,
would be a
there
good
I go.
time to roll that.
Let's see, got a 46. Can I re-roll that?
Considering that your base roll was a 2, that might not be a bad idea.
Okay, I'm going to use one of my re-rolls then. And
Not a great deal better. It's 47.
can I
Use
use
another
another
re-roll.
re-roll?
Do you want to use another reroll on that?
Let me see, I've got 3 re-rolls.
It's very
a day.
important that he doesn't fuck this up, so yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna need to.
Go for it.
Okay, so this is my second re-roll. And
60. Oh no. Oh no. It
Is
is.
that a 20?
That's a
That is a
natural
nat
20.
It super is.
Oh,
Thank you, nice
yeah.
God.
That's a natural 20 on a spell jack.
Alright. So,
Okay. So here's the thing. On anything higher than a 50, you would have been able to do what you wanted without getting caught. With a natural 20, you can not only affect the mental effect on Scales, but you can actually reach into the network of mind control and actually modify the spell, the blanket spell affecting all of the Famine gang members right now.
Oh my
It's a break.
god, that's amazing.
oh yeah.
So- when exactly is the apocalypse meeting tomorrow?
Starts at, I probably said a time, at one point in the past 3 sessions, but I do not recall. It was something in the morning, probably like
He could just
8 or 9 a.m.
What about just setting it so so whenever they wake up or while they're in the middle of their
10
sleep,
minutes after the apocalypse meeting starts, the mental spell will dissipate completely.
do we want it
Until
to
then, this is
Do you
completely...
want it to be that?
Well, wouldn't it be
Yes.
better before?
Did
No,
you
we
not
want
want
it to
make
be
No,
during
after
this session because
apocalypse
then they...
starts. And
I have a question. What if you just disabled it right now? Black Famine would have his whole gang realize the truth. Potentially. I might be wrong about that.
do we
No, do it. Disable it right now.
Yes,
I'm in a
yes.
magical competition with Famine. Fuck the world. I can't win this. Just disable the spell.
Not for any reason other than get me out of this competition.
For the pettiest of reasons.
Help
I
me,
would,
man.
but
Help
Famine
me,
is
help
probably
you, help us all.
expecting this. The
Help
thing is,
me.
How
I'll
is he
just do it.
expecting this?
Do it. Seriously,
Okay.
just
He's not
do it.
Do you think Famine is honestly expecting you to break his entire spell? Hell no.
well, if I
Famine
do it
thinks that
now,
can't
he's
happen.
going to suddenly snap into prepare and rebuild the spell immediately. If I do it while he's in the middle of talking to the other leaders, he can't do that.
Wait, would he have the ability to do that, like, to everybody?
This is not the kind of spell you can just snap and fix. If it breaks, you have to create a whole network. Like, if
Beaver, if
Spud
you want-
honestly said that Famine could
don't-
just recreate
I
that in a
said that
second,
Natural
would
20
be-
allowed you to modify the blanket spell affecting everyone. I don't know if it's enough to let you break it immediately. I'd
Okay.
probably ask for a secondary roll at that point.
So yeah, I'm just going to set it. My original plan: have it
Yeah.
degrade slowly and unnoticeably until everyone is free. 10 minutes after Apocalypse starts.
Well, that's going to be a fun meeting.
Well,
Exactly.
or maybe, why not just, like, as the meeting is starting up?
Drama. Rule of drama.
Well, no. The thing is, we don't want it as the meeting is starting up. We want it once it's there, because then Famine has Weaver's right on this. Famine has the least amount of ability to react in a timely manner to that if we do it
He'll be
just as soon
surrounded
as
by
they've
the
started
other
talking.
He'll be surrounded by the other 3 tribe leaders.
We just
Who,
have to
you know,
hope he
are
doesn't
not
make
going
his
to be
move
okay
within
with
the
the
first
fact
10
that it's
minutes.
been shown that his so yeah, just set that up. Just set that up nice and easy. It's a good way to ensure that our goals happen.
Yeah, that's what I do. I
Also,
think.
So, while you're putting up your crazy act, and while Famine is distracted, you use your ability to, through scales, somehow miraculously modify the entire mental blanket spell to slowly deteriorate until it completely breaks 10 minutes after the Apocalypse meeting is scheduled to begin.
And make sure that Famine doesn't notice.
Yeah, you're able to weave it in so subtly that he basically won't know anything's wrong until, like, right as it's about to end. Like seconds as before it's about to end.
And it's about that time, in real time, that Scales shoves me off, right?
Scales at that point just gruffly just shoves you off of him, like, without any sort of, politeness or grace, just a rough shove.
Well, I suppose you wouldn't remember. You weren't there. Maybe I should talk to one of these other people. Hey, you!
The opponent you looked at immediately just, like, completely bolts away. Like,
looks like he's been
left something in
singled
the
out.
oven.
I bet he looks like he's been singled out for execution when he sees Javolt pointing at him.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so Javolt sort of makes his way back to the DJ table.
Where somehow Igor has been holding down the fort, basically keeping the same loop going for the past few minutes.
No disc scratching or jockeying, just the same loop. Everybody's getting really annoyed at that one loop. They just keep going. Everybody's looking really bored. People are leaving the dance floor. It's basically empty at this point.
Not
And then
quite.
Javolt pulls out somehow epic trumpets on the DJ table. I don't know.
I let you completely overpower the main villain's thing. I don't know if I can let you do that.
Okay, Javolt
I
starts
draw the
singing.
line at trumpets.
Break my
I
villain's
draw
jaw.
the line.
Trumpets? No.
Okay, Javolt just starts singing something.
Okay, now the dance floor starts to really vacate.
Can I roll a singing check?
Sure.
What would that be?
Good luck.
Persuasion.
Okay, I've got a 9 in persuasion. That should be fun. Alrighty then. What's this? I got a 22.
It's not the terrible, broken, screeching mess that I thought it would be, but it's still an old donkey singing in the middle of dubstep, and now everyone's just kind of like, what in the world, and getting kind of just either too weirded out to dance anymore, or just kind of disinterested.
Alright, so I'm guessing you want my next magic skill check, so that Famine can kind of secure his
Sorry,
victory.
I'm just cracking up. I'll be right back.
Yes, your next check.
Alright, let's get this over with as quick as possible. I'm gonna lose here. I don't think anyone is thinking I'm gonna pull a victory from my ass. Yeah, I roll exactly the same as I did on last check. 21. Consistent, but not amazing.
Well, in fairness, Famine doesn't seem to be at the top of his game either, but his magical skill seems at the base, it seems to be frankly, just much greater than yours, and he manages to start breaking your concentration on your levitated objects well before you can affect his. Basically, the last round you managed to come back with a surge strong enough to break his concentration on one of his objects, but then he
still just kind of wins.
He basically hits you with a blast strong enough to make you lose completely.
Alright.
And he just kind of gets up and kind of rolls his four shoulders and just kind of grins at you and says, well, I'd say that puts us at 2-2.
Right there, you chose all the last games, and now I've lost twice. My turn to choose.
No, I think since we are here at a draw, how about we save the last competition for the big one tomorrow? You know, winner takes all sort of situation.
Alright then.
As it is, seems like this party's starting to wind down.
Very well. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Powder Keg. Bright and early. Looking forward to it.
As am I.
Famine leaves the tents along with his entourage, and the crowd of players that had been gathering starts to disperse, although some of them are cheering for Famine, some of them stick around to cheer for you a little bit, Powder Keg. Mostly raiders from the other three gangs that don't seem to like Famine very much. Seems you've won a little bit of support with your performance.
Good. Gonna need it, because shit's gonna go down tomorrow. I'm guessing that's the end of this session then, though? Basically.
We could have a meetup where Javon reveals what he
True,
did.
yeah, we should actually have that first, but then...
Yeah, probably.
we're basically winding down, though.
As the party starts to wind down, you can all basically rendezvous basically back at your tent.
Should we just write off the locust thing since Din didn't?
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to say, since Din didn't show up, Flotsam, you and Tibbs didn't really get the chance to single out Locust and try and break her spell.
Other thing we could do is maybe do a session, whatever this is, 0.5 of Tibbs and Flotsam's done with Locust, whatever they did.
Or, yeah, maybe that too.
Ooh, I would be interested in that.
That would be interesting, although it'd be a lot of build up for just one conversation, unless... I mean, I don't know what Din had planned for that conversation, but...
Well, we could always check with him and see.
Yeah, maybe, if it comes to that, so, you know.
Then again, there is also the potential that given what Javolt did, if Din had a particularly strong plan, it might counteract Javolt's in some way, so could end up creating a paradox there.
What happens to Locust is now a foregone conclusion because of the mind wipe. The spell jack is going to happen tomorrow.
Whatever happened between Flotsam, Tibbs, and Locust, if there was an opportunity at all, it did not break the status quo right now.
No.
Just whether we manage to get
Of course,
it.
That's the thing is, if they do that
information
conversation and try
out of it.
something, there's a chance of failure, which would mean Famine notices. And failure and Famine noticing would invalidate what happened afterwards.
Or we simply won't
because
do
he would
anything.
have done something to stop further intervention.
We won't do anything that would cause a paradox. But yes. Causing paradoxes
That's
is
the
not
problem.
our job.
All of the other 0.5 sessions have been in such a way that they can't cause a paradox. This one has a high potential to.
Anyway, we'll figure that out, keeping that in mind. Back to
Such
you
a
guys
shame.
meeting back up.
Yes.
Well, I'd
Yes.
say my DJ act went over very well.
Chica rolls her
I'm
eyes at
friggin'
that.
pissed I had to
Ways,
lose that.
sure.
Fucking, I want to kick that fucking bastard's ass.
No,
all
no,
the
no,
way
no,
to-
no, 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 no. You don't do anything. Trust me on this. You don't do anything.
What
Javolt,
the hell are you talking about?
Chica looks at you, Javolt, and says, "So, were you successful?"
Javolt grins broadly.
Javolt, what did you do?
Trademark mad scientist grin.
Yeah.
That grin worries.
Javolt
What'd you
sort
do?
of leans against some convenient piece of furniture and says,
One of the bunks in the tent.
"The apocalypse will go as planned, for about 10 minutes. And then, well, let's just say the network is coming down."
What network?
Wait,
What?
really?
Did you? What? What did you do?
Chica,
Just planted a small, let's call it a termite. A mystical, metaphorical termite in
Aren't you like
Famine's great wooden manor, as it were.
aren't you
You
supposed to
managed to...
be anti-magic, pro-science?
This
person?
is anti-magic. This is me destroying a great and terrible spell.
You managed to
What?
get through?
That both does and doesn't make sense.
Shush! You managed
What
to
did
get
you-
through his mind control?
Ooh.
Like I said, 10 minutes after the apocalypse meeting starts, every last pony controlled by Famine will find themselves free again.
Blossom's face lights up and she tackle hugs Javolt. That's amazing!
Shh. Surprise. Surprise is key. If Famine
Powder
knows
Keg's
about
face
this, it
just
all
looks
goes
like he
out the
can't-
window.
He can't believe any of what's being said. You did something.
you
It was
did
good
something.
work, Javolt. You did good.
Yes, well, I
I
am
guess.
the opener of doors, so... And this is a great big door I'm opening, so...
Yes, Smarty is right. Powderkeg.exe has stopped responding.
I'll save my gloating for tomorrow when it actually works.
Yeah.
Alright then. Interesting. And,
Lots of-
how are
You
we
will
gonna
let
make sure
me
that the
get to make
ensuing
a
chaos
big
turns
dramatic
out not
speech tomorrow,
even?
right?
Oh, I can deliver a big dramatic speech whenever you need a big dramatic speech.
No, I want to be the one doing the big dramatic speech.
Oh,
Your
damn it, I like
speech is
doing big dramatic speeches.
You're not exactly one for dramatics when it comes to
I'm
speech.
good at dramatics.
No, I'm
Javolt's
talking
good at
about one of-
dramatics. Actually, I think we're all quite good at dramatics.
It's
Oh,
almost
and hey,
as if
kinda,
we
like,
were
turned away.
actors on a stage.
Hey, Powder?
Yeah.
About the baseball game. Thanks for not winning.
Yeah.
You know what would have happened to
Still
those
don't know what
balls.
that was all about, but yeah. What?
Famine cut out Smack Talk's tongue for talking back. Imagine what he would have done to those foals who lost the game for him. Imagine what he would have done to the foals who won against him.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about that. I've,
Me neither at first, but then I
I'm
saw
kicking
how
that
scared
sorry
they were.
fiend's ass.
So, yeah.
Well,
Like I said, you
The
should
sooner we get rid of that
wait
monster,
and
the
not
better.
do anything, and let the people he actually hurt do something. Tomorrow.
Plus, well, at least he's second
Well,
in command.
I'm not
Some of
sure
them
what
seem
them
to want to
getting
take him
there.
out.
Guess we're good then. All that's left to do now is get ready for tomorrow. Might want to go to bed soon.
And I
Gonna
might
happen
want to do a
nice and
final
early.
assessment on all
Oh,
your
and we should
vests
check
and...
tent for traps before we go to sleep. You know, standard procedure.
Yep.
Yes, that.
Aurelia nods. No one was here to guard the tent this time, so...
Alright, I don't think we need to go over the array of things we find in our tent again. No more razor pillows needed.
All the
Aw.
racers, all the
There-
time.
For some reason, amongst the array of traps that have been newly set in your tent, no one seems to have tried the razor pillow idea again. Seems that
How
your
odd.
pillows have been left alone, razor-free.
Are you trying to tell us something, Spud? I feel you're trying to tell us
No,
something.
not at all.
I sense
Razor fees,
sarcasm.
razor pillows, brother. Please don't kill me off.
I'm
Anyway.
just expecting that someone actually snuck a vampire in there. Just a completely legitimate, original mythos vampire.
Actually, it seems that someone managed to sneak in a vampire fruit rat bat somehow.
Whoa.
Okay, Those are cool, and I want one.
Of course.
But it
Of course
it manages to flap away before you can, capture it or anything.
No, I must
Fine.
roll. We need more pets. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to feed it to Craggy. So it's probably a
You're
good
just
thing it
gonna
doesn't
feed it to Craggy.
Mhm.
Spud, can we re-rule that? Can we rule that Craggy actually just kind of eats that thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Zenkon wants it as a pet, and Craggy eats it.
Which means Zenkard can raise it from the dead as a zombie.
Zombie vampire.
No, you
No,
can't
wait,
raise
it's already-
it
it's
because
already un-
eaten. It's being digested.
And it was already undead anyway.
Give me 20 minutes, I can put it back together.
Craggy looks deeply unhappy. Stop raising this thing that I'm trying to digest.
Anyway, you're able to, after the first time around, you're able to do a very thorough job, and your tent is once again trap-free with a pile of, trap implements just kind of piled outside. And, I guess the group, is able to, get to rest. Although, Powder Keg, you notice that on, your bunk, seems to be a couple of stamps.
Oh, wow.
Yay, he came through. We don't have to kill him.
Powder Keg just kind of taps them into the most secure pouch on his bags and just kind of nods and gets in bed.
Alright. As you're all starting to settle down and figure out watch schedules, one of the pestilence doctors comes by.
What's up?
Dragon Mullers, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I should let you know about Firelight.
Is he okay?
What's wrong?
He recovered from the excessive alcohol just fine, but he had some kind of, psychological relapse. We're gonna keep him with us for some time until he fully recovers.
Lotsman's face
Wow.
drops.
Apparently, him and alcohol have a bit of a history.
Oh.
Like what kind of
Shit.
what kind of relapse are we talking about here?
A bad one.
Zencon, this is our fault.
No, this is your fault. You suggested doing shots.
You're the one who suggested we go get alcohol.
I suggested we go get a drink.
Here, I'll settle this. It's the fault of both of you.
That's what I was trying
I'm
to
sorry,
say.
it can't be my fault.
Zenkarn,
Hey,
as
hey,
always, is blameless.
Temperstill is going to walk over to Zenkarn and give him a dope slap.
Okay.
Ow.
It's actually interesting to see that when you're not on the receiving end. I mean, the way you twist your wrist there.
Okay.
Then, is the doctor left yet, or is he just now leaving?
Yeah, having relayed the message, and now that you all seem to understand, he just kind of nods and bids you a good night.
Lotsman thanks him.
Temperstill is actually going to try and follow after him.
I regret nothing.
So, are you trying to be stealthy about it, or are you just following him?
No, just following.
Okay, you follow him out of the tent.
Then does he go back to where Firelight is being kept?
Well, after a while, since, people are starting to turn in for the night, he notices you following him and stops and gives you a look, a questioning look. Yes?
Look, I know there's really not a whole lot I can do, but I was hoping that if it was possible, I might be able to stay in the general area of where you're keeping Firelight, as a sign of support or something.
Oh.
You want to know where Firelight's being held?
That would work too.
Alright. He, gestures that you follow him, and he takes you over to the, doctor's shack that Firelight is being held in. Currently, he's resting on a cot, asleep. Although, judging by the state of his mane and some bags under his eyes, he looks like he's kind of been through a lot.
Temperstill's going to find some place nearby he can, sit down or lay down to sleep for the night.
The doctor sees you
If
looking around.
that's acceptable, or he's going to find out if there's anywhere nearby he can.
There's really nothing. The doctor stands there for the medical staff only and for the patients.
Well, there's nowhere to sit down or anything like that.
There's a chair or two, perhaps, but the doctor's not keen on letting you stay there.
All right, well then he's going to go sit right outside the tent.
There's no seating out there that you can use.
And I suppose there's nothing big enough for him to lean on.
No. Except the shack itself, which again the doctor's not keen on. Just, he's in good hooves, Mr. Steele. Just trust us on this. We'll make sure he gets through this, but it's going to take some time.
Alright then. Alright, then he'll head back then.
Alright. So, I guess the question is, do we end the session here with certain pieces in play for tomorrow? I guess so, don't we?
Yeah, because it's late, and
It's like
it feels
20
like the
minutes.
stuff at Apocalypse going down is going to be chaotic and go on for a long time, so we don't have to...
Tomorrow's gonna be a big day, yeah.
We're talking about tomorrow in-game, not tomorrow, right?
In-game.
Yeah.
In-game, yeah.
in-game tomorrow. The basic gist of it is, once again, we're going to have to call the session short, just because...
We don't want to
I-
Well,
start.
it's not really even calling it short. We're only out of it 20 minutes.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. I mean, I suppose we did start a wee bit late,
We
but it
started
wouldn't be.
quite late, yeah.
Hmm.
I
I mean, if you wanted to pad it out, I can think of something that Flotsam might do, but I am
I'm
honestly.
not looking to pad it, I just...
Yeah, I'm happy
I'm
to.
just kind of debating an idea in my head, but...
Oh, really?
There was one more thing I have to pad it out, though. Tempered Steel, as you return to the tent, as you're just about to kind of step into the sort of doorway into the tent, a decayed hoof thrusts out from the ground underneath you.
Is that like a
A zombie hoof.
Sankarn.
As a zombie
Are you-
pony starts crawling out of the ground
Tempered
underneath
Steel is going to back up, pull his hammer out, and play whack-a-mole with the hoof.
you. The hoof immediately just completely falls apart under the strike.
Well, that's odd.
Tempered Steel is going to look around to see if there's any other signs of it
Well, cuteless.
in the
What?
immediate vicinity.
I had nothing to do with this.
Roll endurance not to laugh.
Okay. Oh my god, I actually have to look at what my endurance skill is, because I don't think I've ever rolled it before. Woohoo! Natural 20.
I'm back. Okay, what did I miss?
You don't see any signs from anywhere about what might have caused the zombie to appear.
He's going to dig into the dirt with the butt of his hammer a little bit to see if there's anything left of it.
Now it seems to have fallen apart after the first big strike. Its head was coming out as you struck down on it. So
Is the head still there, or is it still broken? Is it
yeah,
broken?
I mean it's still kind of there. It'll probably decay soon enough, though.
Tempered Steel's is gonna hurry it up. He's just gonna stomp on it a bunch.
Stomp on it right outside the tent where everyone's trying to sleep.
Yes.
I appreciate that you have cultural dances. The middle of the night is not a time to practice them.
I'm not practicing my dancing. I'm practicing my zombie killing.
What is with all the natural 20s today?
I don't
know.
There was only one actual only 2 natural 20s? What's that? I
Three.
my
I
natural
rolled-
20 was-
Zenkarn
rolled
rolled a
2.
natural 20 on his endurance check.
Oh.
Is there a signature behind zombies at all? Would he reckon?
No,
Okay.
No.
you can't tell. Zenkarn
Okay.
managed to hide it pretty effectively. Oops, I gave it away.
Well,
I gave away the big spoiler, guys. I'm sorry.
I would
I
never
think
have
you kinda-
guessed.
I think you kind of did that earlier, Spud. I thought I was doing well at bluffing it out, but no.
Tempered Steel is going to have his hammer up.
Stop. Weaver.
Tempered Steel's going to have his hammer up, and he's going to look suspiciously around to see if there's any.
No, there's no one.
And he's going to back into the tent cautiously and ready to strike anything else that might
this
try to pop out.
this big old Minotaur in a poncho just looking around with suspicious eyes, wielding his hammer as he
Out the
slowly
door.
backs into the tent.
You
Problem
know
still?
how it is, zombies? Get out of my lawn!
All right. At this point, I'm gonna have to say now is a pretty good time to end the session, And I guess we're still going to be in Apocalypse for one more session after this.
Yep.
So we are gonna go the Sunday after Christmas for sure.
Unless people have conflicts with that.
Shouldn't do.
I don't think I do.
All right, just want to confirm.
So not next week, but the week after.
Actually, yes, next week, unless.
Oh yes, next week. Sorry, my bad.
Is that all right with you, Dally?
Sunday. Yeah, should be.
All right. Do we want to try doing anything around Christmas-ish, or do we just want to save that for, being with family and whatnot?
I might
Right.
possibly
There were
like to,
plans of doing
depending on my
Christmas stuff?
internet connection.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm gonna be with family on Christmas, so I'm not gonna be able to do anything.
Is Saturday available?
I'll be around for your Christmas, because it's the day after me, so...
Yeah, I wouldn't see doing anything on Christmas.
I mean,
Yeah, not on Christmas, but Saturday for a Christmas-themed, maybe canon.
well,
No.
I don't have any ideas for what we could do for a Christmas episode, so...
I just
I
hang
don't-
out and stream
I-
stuff.
I can't.
Yeah, I might just end up doing, gaming stream stuff during the week.
Oh,
But-
hey, Din's here, finally.
We should...
And
Not
then he's
anymore,
gone.
he ain't.
And then he was like, I'm not
And
getting noticed by Lapis Senpai. Screw this.
And then he's gone, and then he's back.
Okay, let's, well, yeah, we're having trouble with this call. It's been the running theme of this. Let's sign off, shall we?
Yes.
This has been Fallout is Dragons.
Lapis.
Lapis dropped.
Join us next week
Join us
when...
next. Wait, no.
Join us next week when Apocalypse finally begins. And
Also, I'm back, I'm
everything
back. Hey.
goes wrong. Again.
Also,
Oh,
twice as many
oh, did I
audio
miss?
issues. Yay!
Did I miss? Oh, did I not get to sign out?
You can
Can
do
I do
your
the sign
sign
out?
out. Just do it.
Join us next week when the big steaming pile of shit we've been building up for a couple weeks finally hits the fan.
That's actually much better than mine.